Welcome to StopFake, the place where we identify fakes and debunk them to set the record straight on disinformation about Ukraine. I'm Marko Suprun with this week's dissections. Ukraine troops kill separatist defector, cholera found in the Azov Sea, President Poroshenko allows lumber smuggling to the EU, details ahead. The Ukrainian military killed a separatist militant who wanted to take advantage of Ukraine's repatriation program, announced RIA Novosti, Sputnik, and scores of other Russian media, citing the military press office of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic. DPR press officer Daniil Bessonov claims that the man killed was a pro-Russian militant fighting against Ukraine during 2014 through 2015. The story went like this. He tried to enter Ukraine-controlled territory under the They're Waiting for You at Home repatriation program, was detained by Ukrainian authorities, and physically mistreated, resulting in his death. Bessonov further claims that the man's body was then moved to the war zone so Ukrainian authorities could pin his death on Russian militants. Now, StopFake asked Ukraine's military press office about the alleged incident. In an email response, press officer Vadim Bakai wrote that a militant was in fact killed on July 14. However, he was killed by DPR fighters. Our soldiers saw a figure approaching their line near Mariupol. Suddenly, someone opened fire from the other side. When our troops pulled the body to safety, the man was already dead. Turns out he was a member of a DPR rifle regiment, Bakai wrote. Bakai also refuted that the militant had tried to return to Ukraine through the country's repatriation program. He actually never contacted anyone in the program. According to Ukrainian military sources, the deceased had run up large debts in the occupied territories and most likely decided to go to Ukraine to avoid repayment. His creditors probably found out about his intentions and simply shot him, Bakai explained. They're Waiting for You at Home is a repatriation program that aims to encourage people living in the Russian separatist and Russian proxy-occupied areas to return to Ukraine-controlled territory. Under the program, those who have not committed criminal acts while under DPR control are granted amnesty in Ukraine. One of Russian propaganda's central narratives is that Ukraine poses a threat to its neighbors and to the world community, and alarming fakes about hepatitis A, tuberculosis, measles outbreaks, and impending nuclear disasters are churned out regularly by pro-Kremlin media. The newest fake in this vein is the claim that cholera was found near the Ukrainian Azov Sea port of Mariupol. The source for this claim is the so-called Donetsk People's Republic hotline, which on July 6th announced that an employee of the Mariupol city administration told the hotline about an impending cholera outbreak in Ukrainian-controlled Donbass. This alleged informant said that the city's health officials have found cholera in the waters around Mariupol since 2017, but Ukrainian authorities ignore these findings, creating a potentially dangerous situation for neighboring Russia and the Rostov area. In mid-July, several Russian media reported that Rospotrebnadzor, Russia's Federal Service Consumer Protection Agency, began conducting its own testing of Azov Sea waters. The agency also sent a letter to the World Health Organization Regional Office for Europe and Emergency Programs requesting information about cholera in Ukraine, particularly in open water areas. In a letter signed by WHO Regional Office Program Manager Dr. Yuka Pukila, the WHO said they have no data confirming the presence of cholera in Mariupol or the surrounding area. The letter states that there is no confirmation of the many media reports about cholera in the Azov Sea area and points out that Ukraine conducts environmental monitoring throughout the country and has not found positive cholera samples in the Donetsk region. Responding to StopFake's inquiry about possible cholera dangers in Ukraine, the Health Ministry said that as of July 18, 2018, no cholera cases had been recorded in Ukraine and no cholera bacteria were found in the Donetsk area or any other region. The ministry published a statement on its website debunking Russian cholera claims. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko authorizes lumber smuggling to EU countries, declared a July 23rd headline in the pro-Kremlin internet site Ukraina.ru. Having vetoed a bill designed to protect Ukraine's forests from logging, Poroshenko is supporting the illegal export of valuable lumber, Ukraina.ru claims. In a further distortion of reality, Ukraina.ru calls the veto a smuggling permit and alleges that Ukraine's Prime Minister Volodymyr Groysman vowed to save the country's forests from Poroshenko. Now, both claims are complete fakes. President Petro Poroshenko did veto a bill on illegal lumber smuggling. However, the bill was returned to Parliament with proposals from the presidential office. The president's press service explained that Poroshenko supports the bill in general, but the original version had loopholes that contradicted WTO rules and Ukraine's free trade agreement with the EU and created possibilities for lobbying schemes. The vetoed bill banned the export of firewood for 8 years. Now, firewood is not considered valuable lumber, explains Volodymyr Bonnar, the deputy director of Ukraine's State Forestry Agency, and thus its export should not be criminalized. In a Facebook post, Deputy Prime Minister for European Integration, Ivana Klimpush-Tsindzadze, pointed out that the president's amendments are designed to stop corrupt schemes in the wood export industry from which many politicians benefit. Prime Minister Groysman confirmed that Ukraine was cracking down on lumber smuggling. Posting on Facebook, Groysman said all lumber business in the country would be reviewed and an audit would be conducted to determine the losses from the illegal export of commercial timber. On July 25, Ukraine's parliament began deliberations on the new law controlling illegal logging, which now includes proposals from President Poroshenko. Thanks for tuning in this week. And remember, you can help preserve truth and true reality. If you spot any fakes about Ukraine, send them to us for a truth autopsy. Be vigilant. Don't consume fakes. Tips on how to do that are on our website, stopfake.org. I'm Marko Suprun, and this is StopFake.